Well, we are back live with Spry and Tito, and a couple things new tonight. I got a new phone, so we're going to see if this works any better. Got it because I think the quality of the video is going to be better, and I think the quality of the pictures are going to be better, and I think it's going to help us with doing the lives and all that stuff. So Jeff Chillman joined in. Welcome, Jeff. Zach's in, Nick's in, Jerry's in. Last night, guys, we're coming off of a huge night last night. Like, I can't tell you how excited I was. I didn't realize as many people were watching as there were. Like I said, I say it all the time, we are not a wide group, we are a very deep group. We've got a group of people that are super committed to doing these, following along with them, and I thank you for that. I know the reason was last night, we had more shares last night than we've ever had. So as you guys continue to help me grow this, I'm going to continue to thank you for it, and I'm going to continue to keep giving you more stuff. If you guys are willing to put the time in, I've said it before, if you're willing to put the time in, if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to watch for an hour and 15 minutes, which is what it was about last night, and we had strong numbers all the way through. We had more people at the end than we normally do at the peak in the past. So it tells me that there's a level of commitment from all of you guys, and I appreciate that greatly. So Jeff says he's got it shared. I thank you for that. Jeff Bragg is in. I think I saw Jeff Bragg shared the post that I had put up earlier. It's another reason why I probably did a little bit better last night numbers-wise was I'm trying to post the times a little bit ahead. I don't always know the exact times, but I'm trying to do my best. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not on Snapchat, if you are on those, I recommend highly that you follow us at Dog100 there. It's a different platform and we use it differently. So I am using it for quick training things throughout the day. One of the things tonight, I want to thank you guys for all the commitment that you're giving me, and I'm going to give something away to someone tonight. So stay on edge for that, because you're going to have to know something a little bit about what we're doing. The answer was out there today, I think on Instagram and Snapchat, of the question that I'm going to ask. But if you're not following along, I recommend it, because it is a different platform and a different tool, and we use it differently. A lot of this stuff I'm just going to be utilizing on Facebook later. It's just Facebook's platform isn't as quick for me to do it. So I am pretty proud of the post that I made there with the stocking cap and the glasses. The glasses were to make it look like we were going to learn something school-wise. The hat was because it's 6 degrees out right now, and it's not. It's warmer than that in here, but it's probably not much warmer than that. So it is cold. We're going to keep it relatively short again tonight, if possible. Scott Wolf joined in. Brian Quinn is in. Jeff Forsberg is in. Tito here is Jeff's dog. So as Jeff watches along, we get to ask some questions of Jeff. One thing I'm really learning about Tito is real nice foundation. And so it's going to help us get into some of the stuff that I want to do with him. We might get into a little bit of it tonight, more than what we did last night. I was really happy with last night. Donnelly is in, Chelsea's in, Charlie got in, Joseph Cox is in, Joe and Lexi are watching. Where are you guys from? Joseph Cox, Joe and Lexi. I'm thinking down south, but I'm not sure. Jeff Bragg got in, he shared, I think earlier, Jerry Sorensen, Nick Culberson, Zach Holheisel, and Chillman was in early. Eric Browncheck joined in, holy cow, now I gotta look good. Carol is in, I can never say her last name. Shireen. Tell me how you say it again, Carol. Sherween, I think. Sherween. I butchered it last time, and she kind of spelled it out for me how to pronunciate it. So Derek got in, Taylor's in. Taylor, I think, Taylor, didn't you send me some messages today? I got a couple people that sent me messages today. Jeff says he likes the hat and glasses. Hey, I don't think that's cheesy at all. I think that's creative. That's me being artsy. Brian Quinn got in, likes the facility. I appreciate it. It'll be a lot nicer when we have heat. Scheduled to get heat on Wednesday, so look out after that. Shared, it's super choppy, can't understand anything, said Mike. Are you kidding me? Are you guys having problems with me breaking up? Because I thought our reception was pretty good. It's not telling me that I got poor reception. Jacob Burst joined in. Donnelly says it's choppy too. Had our best night of heel work in a long time. It was short and sweet. Amanda's in. You're so techie. I am pretty techie. Instagram and little emojis and all that stuff. Okay on my end, says Jeff. So I don't know what to tell you, Mike. And someone else said it was choppy too. So I'm going to get started here as I keep scrolling through. Welcome everybody. Vicky's in, Jake's in, Dan's in, Clint's in, Chris is in, Mark's in. Nice crowd, guys. Keep sharing if you would. As Shireen, see, she did that for me before. Shireen, how would you get Shireen out of that spelling? But I will get it down someday. Brian says it's crystal clear, which is good. Not choppy for Chelsea, which is good. Might just be me, says Mike. I'm hoping that's it. The release, Wes from the Release Podcast, guys. The Release Podcast is get up. The Release Podcast is a podcast that we did last week. I shared a link to it on our Facebook page today. I'm going to be sharing it. I put the link in our bio on our Instagram, so it's going to take you right to it. It's on iTunes. Had a really nice interview with Wes. We talked about some really good stuff. I did a couple podcasts in the last couple of weeks, and I've got another one that we're going to be announcing tomorrow. See, that's the timing part of it with him. He's sloppy with that. And so is Elsa, the little fox red dog that I had with me at Jay's Sporting Goods. She's sloppy with it. She comes 2 feet off. She keeps her back feet on. She comes off with 2 feet. I've got a sister to Tito, Cody. She is sloppy as well. So newcomers that came into the house are pretty sloppy with their place training. It's what's going to end up having to happen is I'm going to have to go implement the zero tolerance. And some of you guys have heard me talk about zero tolerance in the past. I'm going to have to put zero tolerance in when it comes to these dogs on their place training. And that will require me to be super focused on it, not allow the foot to come off. So when I corrected that last correction nice and quick, I'm going to have to get sharper with all of them. Alora joined in. Alora's coming to a workshop of ours that we've got coming up in April. I have 2 spots left, guys, for the April workshop. So if you're on the fence of coming to a workshop or not, there are 2 spots left for the April workshop, and then that one will be full and we'll be closing it off. I do have, right now, for whatever reason, we signed up a lot for April, not so many for May. We have a handful that are signed up for May. There's plenty of spots there. I believe it's May 11th through the 13th. Don't quote me on it. You look on our Facebook, you'll see the post. The 27th through the 29th is nearly full. And then the Next Steps workshop, which is, it's a prereq. You have to have taken a foundation workshop to start out with. That has plenty of spots too, and that's limited to the number of people, I guess, that are able to come to it. So that one we're going to actually be shed hunting at. So we're going to spend a day shed hunting in Buffalo County on untouched farms for that workshop in early April. The focus is going to be on transitioning to the field. So we're going to, and I've got another little something to talk about tomorrow when it comes to transitioning to the field that I think you guys will get into a little bit too. So Amanda said, what is the name of your podcast? I don't have it set up yet, Amanda. The Release Podcast is the name of the one that we did this week. That was with Wes Hansen. Ours is not up yet. So I haven't come up with a name, so I'm open to names on it. But we're going to be doing one here real soon. Wes just put the link to this podcast, and it's also in our Instagram bio. So I got to make a post on it yet. I ran out of time, so I was going to link that. So what I really like about this session so far is it's been a really nice way for me. It's been a really nice way for me I walked these dogs down to the warehouse here tonight. It's a couple 100 yards. Walked them down under a lot of control. They've already eaten tonight. So it is getting a little bit later. So they ate. We'll see how that goes. I usually work the dogs before I eat them, not before I feed them, not always. But in this case, we fed them tonight. So last night, I don't remember if they ate before or after. Last night got kind of late too. But we're going to start out. So what I liked about it was I had a couple 100 yards of real solid heel work with this guy on lead, and then I had Spry off lead, and worked our way down to the warehouse here. and then we're going to get a little training session in. I'm going to start out again, and our objective is going to be with Spry, patience and watching. So let me know if you guys see any difference in the camera tonight too. It's a new phone. It's the 10. So I had an older one. I had like a 7 or something, and we went to the 10. So supposedly we're gonna get better cameras out of it. But anyway, I'm curious to see if you notice anything. The other thing that I'm gonna put out there is because last night, what did I do with it? Because last night we had such a strong following and such a strong sharing, and we had incredible numbers last night as far as views. I think we had over 10,000 views by the time we got up. By the time I got up, there was like 8,000 or 9,000 by the time I posted it last night. So really, really strong, and it was because of the sharing. So as a way of thanking you guys for that, what I want to do is I'm just going to ask you. I posted something in our Instagram and our Snapchat this morning. It was a video of some of the dogs, and it was how we are getting our day started. That's the value of those other platforms. They're real quick, they're real easy. I can put really quick training stuff on them. I showed what we were doing with all of our dogs this morning, and as I was getting going, answering some emails and doing some stuff on the computer. And I had a couple people comment to me about it, and they're like, man, you got a lot of dogs in your house, and we do. So the question I have is, how many dogs, based on that video, how many dogs do I have right now? And if you just put the number that you don't have to know, you can guess, but guess and just type in the number of dogs that I have at my house right now, and then I'm gonna pick a winner out that has the right number, and I'm gonna send them a whistle. So we talked a little bit about the whistles last night, so that's kind of why I want to bring the whistle up. Chelsea talked about the whistle, and someone else talked about the whistle, and we've had a couple questions. So I'm going to send a whistle to someone. These whistles are on our website. We sell them. They're little dog bone whistles, dog bone lanyard. They're the P-less Acme version. So we get some made for us. So we sell them on our website. Real nice little beep, 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 beep. Doesn't flush game, doesn't have a P, won't freeze up. So I see some numbers firing in. So keep guessing at the number of dogs, and then I'll take those that, what I'll do is so here we go with the tolerance. Get up! You can see he responds pretty quickly, but boy, he's just a tester. So when those feet come off, I gotta be there real quick to correct. So what I'm gonna do is to make this fair. So as these numbers get guessed, I'm gonna take the order of the people that are guessing the right number. I'm gonna take the order and I'm gonna divide it by, gosh, I'm trying to think on the top of my head here, how will this work? If I take the number of people that are right, I'll figure it out. I'm too much pressure right now. So I'll make it fair. So go ahead and guess. If you guess the right number, you're in. And then what I'll do is I'll figure out a winner for that. And hell, maybe there aren't that many winners. And then maybe everyone gets a whistle. I'll be like Oprah. Everyone will get a whistle. So I'm going to start out with Tito here. I'm just going to put the lead on him. Now this is going to be a little bit of work for Spry too. So I want to get this so that you can see Spry. Spry's just going to do what we've been working on with Spry. And if you remember what we've been working on with Spry, it's doing a lot of nothing. So she's going to have to sit there without the place, without the bed, without the dog bed. And that creates a little bit of struggle. That's a lot harder for her to do than if we put her on the bed. It's easy for her on the bed. And I don't have any issues with her on the bed, but if you were watching live a few weeks back, we ran into some issues by my shop. I was busy. I had people coming in. We had UPS guys. We had vendors of ours, and we were and all of a sudden I looked up, and here she's just kind of wandering through my shop, and I realized I had put her on a remote sit, and she decided that, I think I'll go and check something else out, and she did. So what I'm working on with her is, instead of using the bed to help me, because the bed helps. The bed makes it a whole lot easier, that elevated perimeter, even to the point where I was using like a box. I just cut the box and I laid it flat on the ground and I put her on place on that. And she does a lot better on that. It's that perimeter. I think it's really hard to start them out on that because it's really easy for them to have gray area and step off. So the elevated bed, I think, is easily the most effective tool that we have. I'm having no bed, no nothing. She's just been asked to go and sit. Now, if you watched last night, you'll recognize and remember that she's got a little trick up her sleeve where she likes to get up and stretch. And then all of a sudden, when she stretches, she kind of creeps a little bit. So I will keep an eye on that, and we'll see if that happens. And if it does, I'm going to have to be really quick to respond to it tonight. Last night, I let it happen a couple times. So tonight, I'll adjust to that. Now, the other thing, too, is we had a really nice crowd last night, really good group, and the disappointing thing may be that we don't do a whole lot different tonight than what we did last night. It might not be very much different. And I kind of thought about it when I was thinking about what I was going to do tonight, and I thought, well, if we have real high numbers, I don't want anyone to get bored. And then I thought, dog training is kind of boring. So you're going to have to maybe get used to it. So if you watch some of the old Live with Spries, you see a lot of repetition. A lot of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And so it would be it wouldn't be very exciting if Live with Spry was Spry sitting. So we brought Tito in and we kind of started using him a little bit and showing some stuff with his heel work. And I think that's beneficial because now you're getting kind of 2 for 1. But she's not off the hook. Like, she's still doing stuff. So this is important for her. This is valuable for her to have to just be patient. So sometimes the training isn't so active and exciting. Sometimes it's remarkably dull and slow. And for some, that part alone helps them build their own patience. And so with Tito here, I really like his disposition and his manner tonight. Like, he's really relaxed. Now I think he's eaten, so he's not hungry. I healed him down here tonight under real nice control. So he kind of got warmed up a little bit. Not literally, just like warmed up with training. It's freaking cold in here right now. So that's why, of course, Spry had her stocking cap on the picture tonight. So I'm going to start him out. I have to go back and I have to be consistent. So this is, again, a little different for me. My hand is going to be on the hardware tonight. So the adjustable leader that we're using is the longer one. The one that I would probably use on him, he's right on the border of going to this size or the other size, is about 6 inches shorter. So it ends about here, which allows me to put my hand about right here. This is normally where my hand would be. So like, I can close my eyes and I can be like Stevie Wonder playing a piano. I just put my hands there and they go in the right spot. Now I'm going to have to put it here to touch the hardware, and it feels funny. It feels funny to me. So last night I missed a correction because I was out of position. So I was up here, and by the time I was this high before he ever felt anything, and he needed to feel a little bit. So this will be a third or fourth night that I've done this. So I should start to become a little bit more comfortable with the way this feels with Tito. That's my plan anyway. And I think consequently, as I feel a little bit more comfortable, I'll be better off. Now, I'm sitting down here, and you probably can't see it, but sit down. I'm fooling around with this because it was turned. It was turned one time around. I had a message today about someone, Emily, I think it's Emily Johnson, I think is her last name. She's got golden. She's been following for a long time too. And she messaged me about some ideas with Tito with his turns, and asked me about the collars and the slips with dogs that have long hair. And we do run into issues with dogs that have long hair. It gets in the way. So what I really have to do is, you'll notice it tonight. I just did it without thinking about it. So yeah, he just put his head up into it. This isn't a wrestling match. He put his head right up into it. I want to make sure that this thing is operating smoothly. And the problem I just had was this was turned a half turn. So it looked like this. Now that doesn't look that bad to most, but you see that right there? It's a turn, and it's going to hang up. It's not going to slide the way I want it to. So I went in and I made sure I got it adjusted and put it back. And what we were talking about today was, if you got dogs with longer hair, or you'll notice I never put a flat collar on the dogs when I do this. Flat collar gets in the way. So we go without a collar. Now, I got to get this thing so now it's lined up smooth, it's going to slide smooth. And one thing I'll do is I don't want this eyelet. I don't want this. This part should be on the side. The tail should hang to the side of the dog. Don't get this down below its chin. If it's down below its chin and you're trying to correct, it's got to come all the way up here before it gets a correction. So you lose like 3-4 inches and it's dull. It's naggy. So I don't want that. I don't want the collar to sit around the dog's neck and have this be under his chin. Like if this is it, I don't want this. This is how I want it. So I want this right here. So if that makes sense, instead of here, it needs to be here. So we were talking about that. That becomes more of an issue with the long-haired dogs as well. So you'll notice sometimes I reach down and I adjust the collar. I slide it over. I get it off to the side. You want it on their side, not under here. So enough talking. Let's sit down. Let's get started. I missed that. Someone probably noticed it in the back. So part of my issue is sometimes trying to do these on camera because I pay more attention to you guys than I do the dogs, and they know that. They're not dumb. So we're going to get him moving. My objective is to keep him moving. I don't want him to sit when I come to stop. I don't want him to sit when I come to stop. Used to be, and Jeff had him set up to sit when we stopped, to the point where we'd just slow down and he'd sit. And probably made us feel pretty good. Probably made Jeff feel pretty good because he went, you know what? God, that dog is starting to read my mind. The dog is really starting to react the way I want him to. That's great. But now what had happened, and I don't have any problem with that. I would want that. Now the problem I'm having is I'm trying to get him to back up. And because he's sitting down, his butt goes down and his feet are planted, and now his feet won't be able to move backwards. So I got to kind of train something out of him and then train it back in later. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. Don't let me forget. That'll be a talking point as soon as we're done here. And I'm going to do this a little bit quicker tonight. And then, because some of the talk, as we get more questions, it just goes a little bit longer. But remind me to talk about the idea of training stuff in and then training some stuff out when needed. But I'm going to start working. I want to get in a cadence and a rhythm with him where he moves and doesn't plant his butt when I slow down. Tito, heel. Easy turn is always to the right with him. He's flawless. I think I saw a message from Jeff that said he never did much turning into him. Never did much left-hand turns. We see that. His right-hand turns are just about flawless. Like I can't catch him. I turn and he's right here. Like there is absolutely no steering needed. He's right here. He looks like he's beautiful. Looks like a seeing eye dog, the way he heels when I turn to the right. But as soon as I turn to the left into him, and I'm going pretty slow. Get my hand in the right spot. You see that? I missed it. See where my hand was? I missed it. Missed it. Gotta get used to this. Notice the difference tonight. Not once have we tried it SIT on it. Right-hand turn is real nice. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep this a little bit shorter with him because I think last night I got a little bit long on it and I lost him. Okay? So that's really nice. It's the first time he's tried to do it. And in that time he was watching over there. He just kind of got bored with me and was paying attention to something else. He was like a kid in class kind of gazing off. Gazing? That was a cross between dozing and gazing. He was gazing on. Love his eyes when he's looking to me. Because when I slow down, he's really looking to me to go, Okay, I get you. When he goes to look the other way, he's about to sit and say, I'm done with this. That's when I move. Okay, I'm going to turn into him now. See what he does. Oh, he's anticipating it. There, good. Good boy. He really anticipated my turn to the left that time, and he was almost quicker than I was. He actually pivoted before I did. He was out in front of me a little bit. He pivoted in front of me. And not bad, but not good. Not exactly how I wanted, but way better than it was 2 days ago when you just sit down. Now this last turn, the reason I stopped after it was I turned into him a little bit earlier, and I made sure to kind of get my body into it and really kind of turn him physically with my body, kind of pushing him. Not physically, I'm not touching him, but I'm pushing him with air. Like there's space in between us, and as I push him, he wants to back. And he backed a little bit with his hind quarter. Now his bend wasn't really good, but his back, he backed a little bit. I think he took 2 steps back. That's good. I'm going to build off that. Tito heel. Good. Good. Now I'm going to turn. Good. 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 Now we're getting a little stuck. We're getting stuck. Good boy. That was a good one. Good boy. Good. Now what I'm going to do is, this is going to help you guys watch. I know how I'm going to help myself here. See this? I have you look at this crack in this saw cut joint in the concrete. Because I've actually got him to the point now where he's moving his feet a little bit. And he's actually starting to be a little bit mobile and a little bit, I would say a little bit athletic. Like he's getting a little bit of athletic look to him. He's kind of hopping around a little bit. I'm getting his feet twisted up. I got his feet twisted up multiple times there, where he kind of tripped on himself. He got out of position. One time he got out of position and made it turn the opposite way. So this is a big step, because if you go back a couple nights ago, last Friday, when we did this, he shut down and he flopped on the ground and basically said, I quit. This time, I tangled his feet up just as much, but he responded with kind of a, all right, let's do that again. I can do it. I think he's starting to understand exactly what I want. His body just won't let him do it yet. Won't connect from the mind to the body. But we were steps closer, and he didn't look as foolish. He did look a little foolish, but not as foolish. So now what I want you to look at is, here's how it's going to help him understand. Because I do believe he kind of gets it. I kind of think he gets it right now. So there is a joint. I'm going to walk down the joint right now. This is a saw cut joint. It's really easy for me to go straight. And so one of the things that I was doing before was I was actually getting around and physically moving around. So I was making loops around the dog to help turn him, to help turn him, to help turn him. And I'm constantly using my shoulder and my hip, and I'm trying to get around him. And it's like I'm trying to funnel in some water, trying to get around it, get around it, get around it. And I was just trying to get him to turn, and I was getting him to do that. Now what I'm going to do is, because he has gotten to the point where he's actually turning now, and he's actually moving the hindquarters instead of just sitting and planting them. He's actually moving them. He's not getting quite the right bend yet. So now what I think I can do to help him figure out the idea of, well, if I bend my body, it's a lot easier, is as I come up on this saw cut joint, I'm going to turn, and he is going to be, so I'm going to walk away. So I'm on the joint, I'm going to turn around, and I know what's happening is his body is right here in front of me. So instead of me going around him, trying to figure this out, I'm going to be here, he's going to be here. I'm going to turn, he's going to get to here, and he's going to be horizontal to me, crossways. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the line, I'm going to walk into him. So I'm going to physically I might catch a leg in his midsection. So let me see if it's easier to show you what I'm going to try to do here. As I walk down, here's the dog. As I walk down and as I've been turning, I turn and he's getting like this. So he's kind of like across from me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this leg and I'm going to touch him right there in the middle and try to get him to go like this and swing back. So now I'm just going to... Makes sense? Now I'm going to try to help him figure out his feet. And if his feet get out of the way, he doesn't get bumped. And I'm going to be pretty happy about it. He's going to know, oh, geez, he kind of liked that a little bit. So I just can't stand this crooked camera. So, there. So let's try that. I'm going to get in a little bit of a rhythm with him. I'm going to start out with an easy turn. Get my handle right. Did you notice that? I was up here again, and I moved my hand down. And did you notice here that it didn't sit when I stopped? Good. So we're taking a couple steps back to what we were doing. Now I'm going to start practicing this line. I'm going to turn right on this line. Come on. Come on. I'm going to get his face picked back up. A little bit quicker around that corner, so I'm going to speed up. Come on, come on. Good. He's got to get his pace picked up. Come on, let's go. Come on. Spry's getting in her creeper mood. Now I'm going to turn in to him. I'm not going to say anything to him on that one. I don't need to apologize. I got my limit. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Very good. That was it. Did you see those feet? Wrong turn there. Wrong turn. Boy, is he moving. Good boy. Good boy. Ooh. He's getting dangerously close to looking like he knows what he's doing. Good. This is a nice little sequence. Nice little sequence. A couple times where the feet really were active, like almost hopping around. So we went from him having almost a fear of moving his feet to now he's a little bit loose with his feet. This is that transformation of a dog that didn't have a freaking clue what we wanted him to do and basically just locked up. Like when we got him uncomfortable, he basically locked up. This is last week. Last night, he started to he at least didn't lock up. He really didn't move him, but he just didn't lock up. He just stayed neutral. Tonight we got a little bit of a backing, and we got a little bit of a movement. Sometimes it's the wrong movement, but at least it's movement. So tonight I'm seeing a dog that's all of a sudden going, maybe I can do some of these moves. Maybe I can be a little athletic, but he's clumsy. He's extremely clumsy. He's not doing this. He's not perfect. He's not doing it right. But I'm not that hard on him either. And when he does it right, or even close to right, I'm pretty quick to let him know, I kind of like that. That was pretty good. Now, that first time when I caught him off guard, he yipped. My foot got him on his foot. Now, I'm not going to correct, I'm not going to yell at him for it. He got in my way, Tito. He got in my way. So, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to feel sorry about it. Oh, are you okay? Because all of a sudden he's going to go, all I got to do is that. He'll shut down and stop doing what we're doing and kind of love me up a little bit. So I'm not going to do that either. I just was neutral. Just Get out of the way next time, Tito. What won't happen? So let's build on that. I like these little pauses because I went 3 or 4 turns and they were all better. Not better in order, but they were better than they had been before. There was one in there that was really good that I kind of got excited about. He knew about it. And so now I'm going to let that kind of soak in. Now I'm going to do it again. Tito. I'll start out with my right hand turn. Make sure it's nice. Good. Then I'll come right into the left hand turn. On the line. Oh, I gave him a chance to get out of the way that time. That one I didn't like so much. Good. So now I'm not helping him. I'm not getting out and bellying out and trying to get around him. I'm not trying to get around him. I'm not trying to get around him. I am now. Move those feet, 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 move those feet. There. Good. Good boy. Come on. Now you see when I get to this point, he hangs up. He's smarter than a whip. So he hangs back 2 steps and he goes, it's way easier for me to not get stepped on, not get in the way if I stay back. So this time I'm going to surprise him and say, no, come on this way. We're going this way. Come on. Come on. Come on. And I correct that. Come on. Now the lead's getting down, so I need to turn. There. Good turn. Smarty hangs back, we go this way. Come on. Come on. Good. Now I'm going to get another left-hand turn, and then we're going to change the drill completely. Come on. He hangs up on me. I got to get one good one out of it. Come on. Here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Bad one. Bad one. Come on. A little better. Get your feet out of the way, little guy. Look at his body here. He's really timid right now. So he's real timid. So I'm going to change this. Look, see his body language? Ears are laid back. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this, I'm going to change the tempo here. Change the pace completely. Spry, you've been real good. Come here. Spry. No, not you. Come on. Come on. Come on. Sit. Sit. Spry. Spry. Good. Place. Spry's going to go into place this time. I'm going to shift gears, guys. I feel like I got a dog that's kind of locking up on me a little bit. He did really nice for a little bit. Now he kind of locked up. You can see his little heel work was getting worse and worse and worse. Come on. Come on. Now we're going to incorporate the whistle. We're going to work on the recall. So I'm going to give him some freedom. I'm going to let him kind of get around a little bit, but we're going to do reverse heel. So I'm going to heel out, and then I'm going to backpedal and recall. Then I'm going to heel out, backpedal and recall. I'm going to use the whistle to do it. Heel. Now, I clipped the lead off while I did that. So let me go down, I'm going to set it up and do it back the other way. Nice little test for Spry. Stay steady on your bed, please. I'm mixing in some turns on this. Now, here's the value of this adjustable leader. I just clipped the lead off. I still have it. He doesn't know any different. Off lead. Heel. Now, that last little sequence of heel work, after we did the reverse heel, I'm just going to flip it around because his lesson's not over. Now is when he soaks that in a little bit. But after we did that reverse heel, his recall was real good. He got pretty excited. He decided he wanted to pick stuff up. He tried carrying his lead a little bit. I'm okay with that. But what was real interesting was how much energy he had in his feet after that. Watch the last 2 turns. When we're done with this, rewind it. Watch the last 2 or 3 turns. 2 of them were easy, right hand turn. He was really nice with those. Then he went left hand turn, and he did pretty good with them. What I liked about it was, they weren't perfect by any means, what I liked about him was, notice the energy he had in his feet, and his willingness to work with me to try to move them. That's all I'm looking for. Now we build off of that. So, I'm going to go through. If you guys had any questions, this is the time I'm going to answer them. Again, it's a little cold in here tonight, so I see this is where we had a lot of people guessing numbers of dogs. I'll let, if there's people that have joined since, question is, how many dogs am I training right now? I posted it on Instagram and Facebook, or Instagram and Snapchat earlier today. I did a video of the dogs. All of our dogs live in the house. They're all family dogs. So our dogs are clients' dogs. I had all of them in the house, and I showed a little video of how we were starting our day. It was a motivational Monday attempt. So the question is, if you're on Instagram or Snapchat, you'll know the answer. You might know the answer. How many dogs am I training right now? You saw them all in my living room, my mudroom, and my kitchen this morning. I'm going to pick of the people that guessed right. I'm going to pick. Somehow devise a way of picking one person that picked it right. I'm going to send you a whistle. I'll send you a message and let you know who won it, and then just send me your address and I'll send it to you. Dan says he's having problems hearing me when I go away. Is anyone else having that? New camera tonight. New video or whatever from a new camera, a new phone. So Kayla says she finally got Facebook back, first time in 4 years. So I can watch these videos. Excellent. Welcome back. What does Chelsea say about the new camera? I'm really nervous about this. Did you get a new phone? iPhone X maybe? I did. I do notice higher quality video. I can notice your facial expressions more, and it seems to maintain clarity through movement and such. Focus doesn't get fuzzy when the lighting changes. I like it. Now I'm excited about I was nervous. Now I'm excited. Yes, it's a new phone. The idea was, I think we can get better quality content pieces. So that's what we're doing going forward. I'm glad I hope the volume is all right. Seems like she isn't doing much, but a waterfowl dog needs to do a lot of patience on slow days. Indeed, Taylor, that's the beauty of this dog. Most of the dogs that we work, the majority of the time, they're not doing anything. And when you have dogs that can't do nothing and be tolerated, you got your hands full. Cam Cutter's got in. Brandon Bowling is in. I used to in previous lives when I'm going, but I'm hoping that gets better with this new phone he has tonight. I think the echoing doesn't help either. I'm sure of that. Once he gets, yeah, and we're gonna be moving in, so it is echoey, and I apologize for that. We'll be operating out of this warehouse within the next couple of weeks, and it definitely will change. I worked on slowing down with heel and left turns, didn't do too bad. So Chase's work. Hey. No, thank you. Little retriever has a tendency to like things in his mouth. So one of the things he's going to have to do. So I'm going to do this. This is why it's adjustable. I'm going to tighten this up slightly. It was too loose, where he could get his mouth down in between. So no, hey. That's enough. So we're going to have to change that. We do not want to form a habit today. We're training out later, guys. So the chewing, that's been a big question of chewing on stuff. We do not use chew toys. So I was getting back to the numbers thing. So if you're getting in late and the number went up a little bit, guess how many dogs we're training. I'm going to pick a winner and I'm going to send them a whistle. tell you how many I'm training here shortly as soon as we get this guy to. Now, if he continues and insists on doing this, I will firm up. No. I'll firm up. I'll firm up until I get it changed. And I don't want to get much louder than that. Let's see. On the left-hand turns, I was going to ask about stepping on the dog. I did it today and didn't say anything. Just kept rolling. I did it today, Jeff, too. Yeah, if the dog gets in the way, I got to bump it out. I got to bump it out of the way, and he's going to learn to get out of the way. Let's see. Spry might have to go to the bathroom. I sense her in her anxiousness over there. She may have to go to the bathroom. Here's some guesses at the numbers. Need a Bluetooth mic. I'm working on it, Zach. Working on it. And the audio will get better when we get some stuff in here. Switched over to my computer. I see how the quality was there. I like the quality from watching my phone better. It seems quiet on the computer. Speakers. I like the idea of Bluetooth. I do too. All right, I'm caught up. Answer is 7, guys. 7 dogs is how many we are working right now. 3 belong to me. 4 of them are clients. It's Taylor, it's Spry, it's Ellie. It's Tito, it's his sister Cody. It's Elsa, and it's Monja. This is it for her tonight. Nothing. We're doing nothing exciting. But I feel like we gained something. I do think she might have to go to the bathroom. So those who guessed 7, you're winners. Those who didn't guess 7, you're not losers. I do think the part of the reason why I did this is because if you're following on Instagram and or Snapchat, it probably would have been an easier answer for you because I did show it pretty clearly this morning. So if you are on those platforms, I really recommend following along. Anyone who's following on Snapchat and Instagram will probably be able to tell you that you see different things there. You see more things and different things. I don't get to do these there. The people that only follow on Instagram and Snapchat don't see these. I think these are super valuable. So, okay, let's see. We took Val to the sledding hill to test her patience and how she does with distractions while we worked with the shed antler, and she amazed me. We struggled for a long time with city distractions, and the hard work has paid off. I love the sound of that, Kara, because what I really like about that is the idea of incorporating. People ask a lot, how much time do I spend training dogs? And I tell them very little. I don't spend a lot of time training dogs. I don't have a lot of time to train dogs. I do a lot of other stuff. Our company has a lot of other things going on. Now, some people are going, what do you mean you don't spend it? Here's why I don't spend that much time training dogs. Because they're with me an awful lot, and I incorporate training into everyday life. So you went sledding, Kara, and you probably had some of the better training that you've had in a while because there was a lot of distractions and there was a lot of good opportunities to work through those distractions, and you worked on skill sets that are going to be really valuable and allow you to do a lot more with your dog than hunting. The people that just hunt with their dogs, they can't take them to the kids' soccer game, I'm not interested in that dog. I have zero interest in a dog that finds every shed in the world, but I can't take it for a walk. I have zero interest in it. And most people are the same way, because 99% of us don't spend the majority of our time hunting. So I don't spend much time training because we're always training because they're always learning. It's more like raising dogs, not training them. So as soon as we can build it in, figure out ways to build it into our everyday life stuff, it doesn't take any extra time. I can do it with 7, and they're going to all turn out real nice, promise you that. But it might take me a while too, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the idea of, hey, patience, be patient, be patient, be patient. So you guys have heard me preach it plenty of times. So let's see, rabbit dinner. Jeff saw the rabbit dinner. Man, we fried rabbit tonight. Steph helped me and showed me how, and I did it with her help. And I'm telling you right now, spring of 2020 is the year of the beagle, because we will have more rabbits. They were delicious. We did cornbread. What was it called? It was called cornbread crispy chicken or something. I don't know. It was really good. And I posted some pictures of it. And I shared a recipe of a pot roast rabbit that we did the other night. That was all through the other channels. I might have put it on Facebook, I don't remember. Let's see. So Chelsea's not so much on Snapchat, more on Instagram. I'm figuring out Snapchat. I don't know how to use it quite yet. And I shouldn't say I know how to use Instagram either, but I probably feel more comfortable with it. Not just a hunting dog, it's a family dog too, says Samantha, no doubt about it. Click on his head on Snapchat. Then when it moves on the top of your screen, click it again. There's a blue circle around it that said there's a story. I don't even know what that means. Shh. I think she's got to go to the bathroom. Jeff says, I think he had 2 blacks in the same bed. I did this morning. And I had Elsa, and Elsa was in the crate when I went through and did that. So, my dog won't be whiny, Chelsea. It's gonna be a cultural thing. I'm gonna raise a beagle that doesn't bark except when he's tracking. That's my goal. I'm gonna raise a pointing dog that heels off lead and works in a really, really reasonable range. Because I'm gonna grouse hunt with him. Like I'm gonna do some things that traditional beagle guys are gonna shake their head at and go, what is this guy? I've heard it all before. Well, you're just a retriever guy. Yeah, I am. But I don't think that just because they're retrievers they learn because of what we do. I think because I try to understand how the dogs think. Now I realize there's a million ways to train these dogs. One of my reasons for trying to train a beagle dog is to show that I can do it and I can get really nice results in traditional beagle ways, running rabbits. But I also can have a dog that I can have live in the house with us and be calm and quiet and steady. And I can heel them off lead with a lot of distractions. I got pheasant dogs that stand next to pheasants. Literally in my backyard. They stand next to them, they won't flush them. But when I want them to flush them, they will. A lot of pheasants guys would say my dogs are no good, and then when I actually hunt them, they'll go, wow, that was incredible to see the control. And when there's all these birds and there's all these other things going on, there's all these exciting things, and he calls his dog back, his dog comes back instead of running up the field and flushing all the birds. It'd be a lot of fun when we decide we're going to be done hunting and I call my dog and he comes back to me. Like, those are the things, those are the reasons why I think I'll become a better trainer. And I joke about it, but I'm not joking about it. Spring of 2020 might be year of the beagle. Spring of 2019 might be year of the English pointer. Because those are kind of my plans, are to bring some of these different style dogs in and experiment and document the process similar to how I went about training these little retrievers. Or that's why I like Mighty Pets so much, Chelsea. That's why I like working with shepherds and spaniels and dogs that we don't know what kind they are. Because I think we get the exact same results. I've seen it. And I get kind of excited about that. So, all right, guys. Let's see. You're really going to challenge yourself having to call him GSP. I'm not going to have a GSP. I'm going to have an English pointer. But for some will argue it will be harder. We'll see. We will see. Let's see. Llewellyn setters, pretty nice dogs. I'm looking at the Elhue English pointer. All right, so you guys have a great night. We're gonna wrap it up. Tonight was a pretty easy one. We got a winner. I'll pick a winner and I'll announce who the winner is. I'm gonna send them a whistle, and that is out of appreciation. I really appreciate you guys supporting these. So I got a whole nother round of people that sent really nice messages, telling me that they really like these, enjoy these, appreciate these. And when I see stuff like that, boy, it's the easiest reason to keep doing them. So thank you for that. You guys have a great night, and we will talk soon.